Okay, so we are in part 2 of the video. In part 1, we've already blocked our measurements and customized the ventilated wig cap so that we can go ahead and make the wig. So before we get started and draw our guidelines, I'm just going to show you all the completed look after the stitching has been completed, where the T-pins originally were on part 1. So as you see right here, everything is stitched down securely. And also on the back where this ribbon is, all of this has been sewn down. Also the plastic here, it has been trimmed down so that it did not interfere with the customization. So everything is still flushed and tight and we're ready to go. I'm gonna go also check the measurements and just make sure everything is still in place. So we already have the circumference down, which is measurement number 1. We're gonna check the front to back, and this should be 13 inches or 13 and a half. All right, so we have the 13 and a half for the back. Go ahead and check the temple to temple. And let me see, I'll bring the measurement tape back here and turn it around so you all can see. Okay, so that's the front to back. It's a 13 and a half. Okay, now we're gonna check the nape. It's 5 inches. All right, now we're going to check the ear to ear over top, and this is a measurement of 12 inches. So you put that there on that ear tab. You spin it around to this side. And as you all can see, we do have 12 inches over the ear. And then now the temple to temple. So this one is 17. And the best thing to do is to get your measuring tape, find the end point that you're looking for. So we're looking here for 17. I'm gonna go ahead and split the measuring tape in half at the 17 mark. That's going to give you 8 and a half. And if you didn't know that, you just split it in the half. But 8 and a half is going to be the center. So you just place it here. And then you would just bring the measuring tape around. Okay, so as we bring it around, and line everything up. Okay, you can see we have 17 for the temple to temple. So we are good to go ahead and start making the guidelines. And this is exactly how it's sitting on the canvas head. This is how it's going to sit on your head. So that is why it's important that you customize your ventilated mesh caps and do not rely on the factory size settings, because yes, they are made, you know, to be like a universal fit, where it's like basically one size fits all as long as you get the right size. But you may need to make adjustments because everyone's head is not, you know, going to be exactly that way. So when I make my guidelines, I'm going to make them to be an inch. Sometimes I make them to be an inch apart in space, and then also I may have them to be ½ an inch apart. It just depends on the amount of hair that you're working with and also the thickness of it. So for this wig, this is going to be some straight hair that's going to be used. So I'm probably, and it's some thicker hair, so I think we're going to start off just going in with an inch apart, and then if we need to fill it in, we will. So I already have the measuring tape down, and I have my metallic Sharpie, and I'm just going in where the inch mark is on the measuring tape and making those lines. So we already have that in place, and then I'll just go ahead and fill it in on the sides. And it's just basically you making straight lines. And this is just your template. As long as you're sewing straight, this is just a guideline. So do make your work neat, but it does not have to be, you know, perfect. Like if you may need to make a correction or straighten it out, it's okay. So when you're working with the ventilated caps, you want to make sure on the plastic that you're using some type of permanent marker, as you just saw me use, and on the sides where the mesh material is, there, that is where you're going to want to use a sewing pencil or some type of coloring pencil. I got this from Amazon and it came in a pack of 6. So these are sewing pencils. It is okay to mark on these. The markings will show up also very good, and then they will also wash off. So you don't have to worry about having markings on the wig and, you know, it not, washing off when you make the wig for yourself or the customer. So the first measurement or the first guideline that we're actually going to make is going to be where the ears are, okay? So we want to make sure that that track is going above that, not sitting on it, just slightly above it. And then we'll go ahead and connect that in accordingly. So I'm going to remove this T-pin because as of right now, all of the measurements, they're already like secure. So you see, even when I remove the T-pin, it's still flushed down where the ear-to-ear measurement was. So starting here, we're just going to go ahead and make this first guideline, and I'm going to connect it to this line here. All right, so we got the first one in, and whatever you do to one side, of course, that's what you want to do to the opposite side. The more you practice symmetry, which is basically just making sure everything is even on each side, that is going to give you the best results for the wig. And so now we're just going above here and making that straight line. So once you have this first guideline and it kind of gives you an idea of where you're going, you can just go ahead now and go fill in the rest of the line. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. And then I will show you all the rest in just a second. So I'm going to remove this. All right, so as you can see, we have the guidelines already drawn out, and I'll go ahead and take this off of the tripod. So everything has been connected. Very easy. Once again, these are one inch markings. One thing I do want to make note of on the video, do you see these flaps here? And then there's also one on this side. Okay, the reason for these flaps, these wig straps go inside of this, and it is used, after you put them inside of here, you use the hooks to bring it here, and it's made to make tension. So when you're sewing, do not sew anywhere near these tabs, okay, that are there. You do not want to sew anywhere near those tabs. So you see on the first track, I've went underneath it, and on the second track, I've went above it. So my customer will still be able to insert the wig straps inside of the hooks, bring it here to give tension so that the wig is taut and is good to go. So I stopped here because this is going to be the area in which the closure is going to be placed. So until I get the closure down, I'm not going to go any above these guidelines here. But pretty much in this video, your takeaway should have been noticing how the adjustments have been made on the ventilated wig cap, sewing it down, retesting the measurements to make sure everything still fits securely, and then understanding you do want to use the sewing pencils on this material, and then you're going to be using the metallic marker here. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So leave any of your comments, questions, or concerns below. Like, comment, share, subscribe to the video, share it with a friend, and stay tuned for the next one.